thinking forward music from the electronic stars.
Awakening your ears with the best of electronic music.
The future sound.
Marianne Hobbs on Radio
1. Finest in the electronic underground.
Wednesday night into Thursday morning.
2 to 4 a.m.
The future sounds of electronic music.
First off, I want to thank you for listening. Enjoy.
3, 2, 1.
This show contains bad language and extreme content. If you don't like that, turn off now.
Time waits for no man. Onwards we march, stoking the fires of revolution. Happy New Year to all my warriors. We throw open the gates on 2010 with a world exclusive from Vexed. A track from a secret lost album that will finally surface on their new full-length release for the Planet Mu label. That album is titled Cloud Seeds. Trust me, dubstep does not come any more challenging or thrilling than this. And that is a great agenda for the new year. Let's start as we mean to go on. This track is titled Nails. And if you like the sound of that, you can hear Vexed previewing the brand new album Cloud Seed exclusively on this show on March the 10th.
This is BBC Radio 1, and you're listening to the real Queen of England, Miss Marianne Hobbs.
So 81199 on the text if you want to get involved tonight. Or of course, you can hit us direct at twitter.com/Marianne Hobbs. Right now, we're heading out to France. Sounds of F on BBC Radio 1 Experimental. The track is titled Poker. It's lifted from the brand new album Energy Distortion, which you can find on the 7 Recordings label. So, it's Marianne Hobbs, the future sound of electronic music on BBC Radio 1. We are all the way live till 4 o'clock this morning, and of course, you can boot us up anytime or online all week at bbc.co.uk/Radio 1. Coming up tonight, exclusive mixes from Deadboy in southeast London and 1,000 Names from Sofia in Bulgaria, both of whom we are tipping to shine in 2010. And it's wall-to-wall, thrilling new music all the way tonight, including a track from the youngest producer we have ever played on this show, 10-year-old Magic from Bristol. First though, this is something brand new from VVV. A little dub that he knocked up over the festive season especially for us. Flat Bodies is the title of this. VVV to the beat. The track is titled Flat Bodies. So next week, our first big special of 2010 takes place. Building the Beat. Producer Starkey is flying in all the way from Philadelphia to do the show with us, and what he's going to do is build a brand new tune from scratch over the 2-hour duration of the show, using samples from producers, presenters, MCs, and you, I hope. If you have a sound for Starkey, you need to be quick. Email me, mariannehobbs@bbc.co.uk, or send me a link at twitter.com /Marianne Hobbs. And here are some examples from the BBC Radio 1 presenters of the type of thing that we're after. Have a listen to this.
Hi Marianne, Judge Jules here with my contribution to that big juicy arsenal of samples to put together. Well, I'm going to go for this big juicy air raid siren because when you drop it on the dance floor, it's like the bombs are falling down on you.
Hello, it's Edith Bowman here. Now, I have a sample for you to use. Various people have done different things. They've used their own voices or sounds from their bodies. I've gone with a clip from one of my favourite films. So here's my sample for Mr. Starkey to incorporate into his track. This is from Anchorman.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Hey, it's Mr. Jam here. You know him from the advert. I think that he would sound amazing in a Starkey beat.
Simples.
Doesn't really need any more explaining, does it?
Hey Marianne Hobbs, it's Hugh Stevens here from the Wednesday night shows on Radio 1 for your incredibly exciting project for 2010. I would like to contribute a horse sound effect. Horses are very dear and close to my heart for no apparent reason other than I like the way they sound. So, for your huge project for 2010, and I can't wait to hear it, Marianne Hobbs, I give you this.
So next week, January the 13th, Building the Beat on BBC Radio 1 Experimental with Starkey, Rezo on percussion and Annika on vocals. If you want to get involved, send us a sample for Starkey to this address, mariannehobbs@bbc.co.uk, or a link to twitter.com/Marianne Hobbs. But you know what? Gotta have that tonight.
Times we had on the thrones that we bid adieu.
Upon the thrones that we bid adieu.
I am glad,
so glad
for the time together with
time together with you. Those unaware of the title that I possess miss one's the name, eradicating whackness. My style's born out of hard work, pain, and practice. Jack this and you'll be greeted by a versus like to a black fist. My status quo ain't plastic, pure energy, fantastic flow, fully engaging the wind in me. Righteous brain synapse causing Babylon's collapse. That's why the art of rhyming was attacked. Some other ship connected rod to rearrange the madness that passed for rap. Mama Earth be warrior, so we gon' be that. Believe that and know it's straight flowing. You can see that evidence showing. Straight closing the case. I could rock a show, I could give a taste. Booming it out the system of your Wrangler or your plates. This one's for the funk of the original arrangement. Custom built snares, not really for entertainment. Intellectual madam that's getting at them on a level higher than any data could imagine.
some roads always lead to something so new. And I suppose much love will accompany you.
Smiling at these MC imitators, that's a flavor so bad they dilute the savor. Uncreative saying swagger gon' carry him. This mass hysteria is beckoning the bearings. Bombs blast, the commentaries are too few. Most of the world ain't worried about a club to go to. Make it easy going, get your feel good right. Executives don't wanna hear about no Africans like. Let's see, it's colder than December on a kingdom that most of us no longer can remember. But still the black stays tender in my heart, and my art is livicated to the spirit of the dark. Controversy, not speaking biblical, spiritual, paying my dues with miracles, twisting, turning my discerning of life. 2 times for the woman, balance knowledge with might, insight with action, designing realities, completing the cipher to crush negativities. The soul healthy, vegan cuisine so that my body can be murder free to the angst of my enemy.
And you make me laugh, but these words I'm saying are true. Be yourself, and the goal of wisdom comes through. Times we've had on the thrones that we bid adieu.
Beautiful, beautiful women for 2010. Georgia Ann Muldrow lifting us to a higher state of consciousness. The track is titled Thrones, and it's lifted from her new album King's Ballad, which you can find on the Ubiquity label on February the 9th.
awakening your ears with the best of electronic music.
I let you deep in. 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 Nothing wrong. 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 I let you deep in. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. I let you deep in. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. I let you deep in. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. I let you deep in. Nothing wrong.
So a big shout out to the Twitter crew, to Disco Attack and Alex Beats, Cheesky, T-Bulk, Sekal out in New York City, Saucy J, Svetlana HQ, The Star Samurai and Nomjack. It's great to have you with us tonight. Right now you listen to the sounds of Miss Cooley G. This a track lifted from her brand new EP. It's titled Let You Deep In. Cooley has a new album upcoming on the Hyperdub label this spring, and I'm very much hoping she's going to be celebrating that release with a mix on this show. Tonight, we have incredible sessions from Southeast London's Deadboy and Bulgaria's 1,000 Names coming your way. If you've just joined us for the very first time tonight, you need to know this show is dedicated to exploring the outer limits of electronic music, finding new sound at the genesis points. And these are some of the beats that changed our life in 2009.
BBC Radio 1. First. BBC Radio 1. First.
And in 2010, it's all about fresh, vital, brand new electronic sound all the way to show. Boys like this. Two of the hottest young British names to look out for. Mosca built the beats. Greener on the remix here. The track is titled Square One. Big shout out to Coy Austin Theobald, to Chris Instinct, Dread Wizards, John Gitters, and Slick Mortimer at Cloud Studios. It's great to have you with us tonight.
Mary and Hobbs on Radio 1. Drop it like a bomb.
And next, out to Nottingham. dub from Metafy. Pastel Scents is the title. And if you like the sound of this, I can tell you that I'm right on the very cusp of confirming a Wig Flex showcase for the show. Details in the next week or two, I hope. myspace.com/METAPHI for everything he needs. Big shout to the regulars, to PJ and Slough, all the Rubber Factory Massive, and Jason at the Herald newspaper down in Plymouth. It's great to have you with us tonight. Deadboy, right around the next corner. And RSD is going to take us there. Yeah. This track is titled Naked Mario Karts.
Part 2 in a different style.
Bristol's endlessly inspirational Rob Smith, operating here as RSD. This dub, highly sought after ever since he premiered it on our Bristol Rise Up special. It's finally released on the Black Box label. Naked Mario Karts Part 2. Goes out tonight to all the texting crew, to Tom and the Blue Frog family, to Craigie and Malvern, Dan's in Woking and Max in Norwich, Theo at Hallam University in Sheffield, and my boy Johnny. It's great to have you with us. 81199 if you want to get in touch, or of course hit me direct, twitter.com/Marianne Hobbs. So, this is BBC Radio 1 Experimental. We are all the way live till 4 o'clock this morning, and of course you can boot us up anytime. We're online all week at bbc.co.uk/Radio 1. So I think it's high time we brought on the first of our guests this evening. His name is Deadboy, and he's based down in southeast London. First came into my field of vision by way of a hot tip from the Numbers crew in Glasgow. He says of himself very simply that he developed a love of garage and early grime in his youth. Started to make tunes on a crappy old computer, got a crappy old pair of turntables, and upgraded gradually as he went along, incorporating elements of R&B, of house music, Detroit techno, dancehall, funky, bassline and dub. And I tell you what, this is exactly the kind of dazzling mix that you dream of for the very first show of a brand new decade. Deadboy, this is your time. Step up.
Deadboy, Southeast London. Southeast London. Southeast London. Southeast London.
Record your message after the tone. Hey, what's up? It's me. I just finished a photo shoot. I'm getting ready to go record, but I just wanted to check up on you and see how you were. Not home, you know. Hope you're behaving yourself. Alright, well, I miss you. I'll talk to you later. Official girl.
You gotta love me and I'm not in the
outer street. But them fall like baby under the sheet. You don't know where them are talking about gangsta no pride and bad man no pride. Oh yeah, bad man cry, cry. Oh yeah.
Deadboy, breaking hearts all over the planet tonight. If you like the sound of that, remember you can grab a rewind anytime you like. That mix and indeed this entire programme is up online all week. bbc.co.uk/Radio1/Marianne Hobbs. The new single is titled If You Want Me, and it's due to drop on the 25th of January on the fabulous Numbers label up in Glasgow. And you can see him playing Fabric in London on the 8th of January at the Numbers Night alongside Todd Edwards, Rusty and Hudson Mohawk. He's at Dunkel in Copenhagen on the 15th of January, the Big Chill in London's King's Cross on the 23rd, and Plan B in Brixton Town on March the 12th. myspace.com/Deadboy Soundboy for everything you need. Still to come tonight, we have an exclusive mix from 1,000 Names from Bulgaria, and also 10-year-old Magic on the show, the youngest producer we have ever played. Next though, this is a tune for Hugh Stevens.
To all you ever were, never were, really are, nearly are.
So yeah, this one goes out to Hugh Stevens tonight. His Radio 1 show is as fascinating as what lies beyond the doorway to Narnia at the back of the wardrobe, I think. If you missed him, don't sweat it. bbc.co.uk/Radio 1. He's online all week. Regularly, Wednesday nights, just ahead of us on this mighty network. This is the work of Daedalus, an artist that we both adore.
Never were, really are, nearly are.
The track is titled C'est Super. And you can find it on the new compilation Friends of Friends Volume 1. myspace.com/Daedalus Darling for everything you need.
BBC Radio 1 Experimental.
And I tell you what, I've been hearing a lot about this mob, Jogger, echoing out of Los Angeles in recent times. They do make some beautiful acoustic music, but this is one of a clutch of dance mixes of their track. Nice tights. I love the kind of Superfly retro funk feel of this. This is the Keen House mix of that particular track. And if you like the sound of this, hit them up, myspace.com/Jogger Music.
Look
Dogger on BBC Radio 1 Experimental. The track is titled Nice Tights. Keen House remix goes out tonight to Scumbucket, Madda Fadda, Yo Watson, Stephen Aleppa, Blue Daisy, Mo Beatty and Bandshell up on Twitter tonight. It's great to have you with us. Incendiary, electronic music first, all the way. That's what this show is all about.
BBC Radio 1. First. BBC Radio 1. First.
And for our first show of a brand new decade on BBC Radio 1, I am delighted to be able to bring you the youngest producer we have ever played in the entire history of the programme. He hit me up at MySpace this week and asked if I would check his beats, and I got to tell you, I was completely blown away. He's just 10 years old, unsigned and based in Bristol City. Big shout out to his mum and dad, Time and Bella. His name is Magic.
Yo, this is Magic from Bristol. I'm 10 years old and this is my tune, Future Predator, on the Mary and Hobbs Show, BBC Radio 1.
now here as a boy with some serious potential, I think. 10-year-old Magic from Bristol City. We're tipping him on this show as a big, big future star of drum and bass. If you like the sound of this, he's up in my top friends at MySpace, myspace.com/Marianne Hobbs. Or you can check him direct, myspace.com/Magibase, MAGIBASS.
Marianne Hobbs, Radio 1. Blaze it, can't stop. What of them?
And we're rolling on tonight with Ill Skills. This track lifted from a stunning new compilation which you can find on the Critical label. Features work from Break, Ramadan Man, Caliber and Saber. This track is titled Black Rabbit. Well, texts, emails, tweets flooding in about Magic tonight. Yes, indeed, he really is just 10 years old. Check him for yourself. myspace.com/Magibase. This is the sound of Ill Skills on BBC Radio 1 Experimental. If you like this, you want more, check out Fabio and Groove Rider, and also Bailey on our sister station 1 Extra. Their shows up online all week, bbc.co.uk/Radio 1 and /1 Extra. The finest drum and bass on the planet. A thousand names right around the next corner. And autopilots are going to take us there. Love the title of this track. Less talk, more bass. Autopilots, Less Talk, More Bass, lifted from the EP Biohazard, which you can find on the Deep Step label, www.deepstep.us for everything you need. Toto, it's Marianne Hobbs, the future sound of electronic music, all the way live till 4 o'clock this morning on the mighty BBC Radio 1 network. And of course, I've got to tell you, some of the very best music comes to us all, I think, by way of recommendation. And it was when I was out in Portland, Oregon on tour in America that my friend Victor Panzer first mentioned to me 1,000 Names. And tonight, they're mixing for us exclusively on the show. They're a two-piece, a union of one drummer and one painter with a shared love of samples. Their names are Casio Blaster and 99 Mistakes, and they're based out in Sofia in Bulgaria, on the eastern edge, where Europe becomes Asia, on the shores of the Black Sea. And if you're into the kind of post-hip-hop sounds of LA and Glasgow collectives Brainfeeder and Lucky Me, I think you are absolutely going to love this. 1,000 Names. This is your time. Step up.
1,000 Names. Sofia, Bulgaria.
Our garden is blooming, but the fruit of happiness stands adorned with Shanti, flowers of silence and peace.
Intergalactic
This is not music. This is not music. This is not music. This is not
The moon comes close.
All the way from Sofia in Bulgaria. 1,000 names mixing exclusively for BBC Radio 1 Experimental tonight. And remember, if you like the sound of that, you can grab a rewind anytime you like. That mix and this show, the whole thing, up online all week at bbc.co.uk/Radio 1. This crew have a green vinyl 10-inch on Bristol's Black Acre label upcoming, followed by an EP on the Electric label. No, sorry, the Eclectic label, and that's with all K's, Eclectic. And then 3 EPs on the brand new Svetlana Industries label. They have shows in Wuppertal in Germany on the 26th of March, in Augsburg on the 28th, and they're in Bristol at Back to Basics on April the 8th. If you want more, check them at myspace.com/1000 names, and they're up there in my top friends too. myspace.com/Marianne Hobbs, if you want a very, very easy reference point. And onwards with the new music tonight. This a hot tip from my producer Xanthi. It's a little bit like a theme tune for the Sweeney in Space, I think. Mom tooled the beats, and the track is titled Glade. If you are looking to hear brand new emerging electronic sounds, unlike anything else you've ever experienced in your whole life, you're in the right place. BBC Radio 1 Experimental goes down every Wednesday night into Thursday morning, 2 till 4 a.m. on BBC Radio 1. And of course, we're online all week. bbc.co.uk/Radio 1. Here's a few bits and pieces that touched our heart in 2009.
BBC Radio 1. First.
BBC Radio 1. First.
And this, in the meantime, a hot tip from my brand new assistant producer, Kevin. Bristol's Julio Bashmore. He has releases upcoming on Apple Blind's label, Apple Pips, in 2010. And you can see him playing at Some at the Lab on the 20th of January in Bristol. This track is titled Banda 2. Exclusively for us on the 27th of this month. This track titled Banda 2. And that is about the size of it as far as we're concerned tonight. Thank you so much to Deadboy and 1,000 Names for their stunning mixes on the show tonight. Next week we have the massive live BBC Radio 1 Maida Vale special, Building the Beats, with Starkey, Rezo and Annika on the show. Do not miss that. Starkey building a brand new track from scratch over the 2-hour duration of the programme. You have officially got 4 minutes and 50 seconds to get a sample to us if you want to get involved. Twitter.com/Marianne Hobbs or Marianne Hobbs at bbc.co.uk. Tell you, I've got absolutely no idea where Dev is tonight. Possibly hunting the fairer sex. Maybe getting over the allergy that he got after wearing those hideous Aran jumpers for his Christmas card photo session. I don't know. All I can tell you is that the gorgeous Max is in his place tonight. And I think it's high time we woke her up. Wake up, Max! This track, brand new and exclusive. Paul Harris versus Eurythmics. This is the 9-bar remix. Big shout out to my old producer Damien Wilson out on the White Isle for hooking me up with this. Forthcoming on the CR2 labels, absolutely massive. I Want You is the title. Versus the Eurythmics. It's exclusive to us tonight. Bar 9 on the remix. I Want You is the title. And you know what? It's always lovely to wake up a beautiful, beautiful woman with such an uncouth beat.
Oh, who are you talking about?
Hello, darling. Happy New Year.